we keep talking about the A's and how bad they are. There's a worse team in baseball. We've kind of mentioned it. And I'm sorry, Kratz. I know this hurts you, but your Royals suck, dude. They suck, man. They've lost, 8 in a row now. They can't hit. Dude, this stat, and I'm sorry, Jordan Lyles. I'm sure you're awesome, dude. I don't know you at all. 0-11 to start the season. He's made 14 starts. Casey's 0-14 in his start. That's impossible. Offense out hits the Reds 8-5. They were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. But man, like they have a worse record than the Oakland A's do right now. And the Royals were supposed to be trying. Right? The Royals were supposed to be trying. Kratzy, I know you're your boy, but does Salvi go to them and say, hey, trade me, please? Please trade me?
Salvi hit that. Salvi hit the game-tying home run against the Reds the other night.
Yeah.
And he was just – I mean, he was juiced. And that's what Salvi brings. But at some point – and I don't know if Salvi's sitting there going, man, Witt, like I can't do this anymore. Like who else is with him? Like I don't understand – because Salvi brings the energy every day. He's hitting like 275, 280, some pumps. I just don't understand how you can continually sit there and play this bad when, like you said, they're trying. So at some point, Salvi's got to be like, hey, you guys have to get me out of here because I don't want to play here
anymore. I just wanted – that's the whole point of this whole part. I just wanted to hear Kratz's impression of Salvi.
Of course you did.
Because the way he does it is so – if you've ever talked to Salvador Perez, that's exactly how he talks. It's so good. It's so – but think about that. They're worse than Oakland. Oakland's not even really trying. And Kansas City's trying. And they're awful. They are awful.
They weren't going to contend this year.
No, but at least – but they have Bobby Witt Jr., they have Salvi. They brought in Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, great. They're all good.
0-11.
Those 3 players are good. How many players are on major league rosters these
26
days? So you can't have Greinke? 3 out of 26.
Zach Greinke? Okay.
Greinke's okay as a 5. I mean, he's there 1, but
opening day starter.
You nailed it. There's your number 1 issue is their pitching
Brady
development.
Singer was supposed to be pretty good. He hasn't been good.
Their pitching development has been a disaster. They drafted a ton of pitchers, tried to build everything up. They have nothing to show for it, just about nothing to show for it right now. Like, what's this next group of rising pitchers to come up for the Kansas City Royals? It's a similar issue with the Tigers. The Tigers don't have great offense either, but they put a lot into starters.
All the Tigers pitchers are hurt.
They're hurt.
Scoville, Mize, they're all hurt.
So in my mind, what I learn is the rebuild process should be more position player reliant. The Cubs are a great example. It was Rizzo. It was Bryant. And I written Rizzo was traded around, but basically young guy up there. It was Bryant. It was Javier Baez, right? Go down the line. They had this position player core, Contreras and others that all came up together. Same with the Astros. And now the Astros have just done a brilliant job developing pitching too. But like for the Cubs, for example, then they go, all right, where's our ace, Lester? You can add on some pitching. Sure. Obviously, I'm not saying don't develop pitching, but you see it with these teams where you suddenly go, these are pitchers that were picked in high slots or a lot of money was invested into them. And it just has not worked out. The Royals do not have pitching. They don't have starters. Even their relief pitching besides a couple guys is pretty brutal. And yeah, their offense also isn't doing much. But I mean, Prado's having a decent season. Bobby Witt, I'm still super high on, and he's been pretty good. Pasquatch is okay. He's hurt right now. Yeah. So I'm okay. The offense is not as bad as it looks right now. The pitching is as bad as it looks.
They both are bad as they look.
I know, but I have no hope in the pitching right now. I'm like,
Kratz, help me here.
Where are the next aces?
God, Kratz, find Scott some hope here because he's hopeless.
Well, I don't have any hope for you because they wouldn't have gone out. Okay, so here's kind of what we were talking about with Eno. Jordan Lyles last 2 years has pitched 180 innings in each year. So he's an innings eater, okay? Do you know how much, without looking, they're paying Jordan Lyles?
$5 million.
2-year deal, $17 million. This is why teams don't want guys to throw innings. They're paying a guy that in the last 2 years had a 5.15 ERA and a 4.42. But you know what? He went out in 8 innings. And this year, he's got 80 innings already. He's doing his job. He's doing what they're coming in to pay him to do. The issue is they have nobody else that's eating innings. Greinke's going to go 6 max. Like, they're on fumes and they're doing bad. Like, it's one thing if you were doing good and you're just wearing out your pitching. I don't see any hope. And it's not going to get better about July 15th when they trade Aroldis Chapman to the Diamondbacks.
You know who I was thinking of too? Because I followed that draft closely and I've always been a big part of the draft process. Asa Lacy, who was a great pitcher in college. You don't know who Asa Lacy is? You don't remember him?
Love that.
Yeah. It was their first round pick in 2020.
Yeah, where's he?
It's funny. So I Googled him and I knew he was hurt.
Is he a Texas A&M kid?
I believe it was Texas A&M, either Texas A&M or Oklahoma. It was, and I Google Asa Lacy, and like one of the first things that pops up from Royals Review, one of like the good blog pages, where in the world is Asa Lacy? And no offense to him, it's another guy. This is a guy they invested a lot in, high pick, hasn't been up yet, hasn't worked out. It's been a really rough go of injuries and not developing pitching well for this team.
Well, Dayton Moore is gone. We talked about the White Sox with Eno, right? They would change guys. The Royals won in 2015. It wasn't that long ago. They just shit canned Dayton Moore to bring in a new GM, new manager, new everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So teams do it. So do they change everything in the organization to try to restart this?
But they just did kind of.
That's what I'm saying. But when Dayton Moore goes out, remember they wanted Kratz on the team. 2014 they lost in the World Series. 2015 they won it. That 7-8 years ago they weren't that bad. They were pretty good.
They're behind the times. Analytically, the Royals are behind the times. Okay. I can't get into it more because it was one of my old jobs, but they're behind the times and they don't want to change.
It's your old job. It's okay.
Yeah, but you get told some things.
Old job. Hey, speaking of that, before we get to Chandler Rome, did you guys see the thing where MLB is going to limit how much money teams can spend up?
Oh,
why?
My gosh.
Why would we? Well, who gives a crap?
Guess who's calling about that?
Rob Manfred?
Yep.
No.
John Fisher?
Yeah, small market teams.
Dude, that's your own fault. Spend your damn money.
They don't want to.
Well, they're stupid then.
No, they're not stupid.
Spend your money. Dude, if Hal Steinbrenner wants to go out and spend $10 billion on something, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants.
They're not stupid. They're assholes, and this is another way for them to create like their own salary cap.
This should have been the pop-off too with the Royals. Like, how can you tell me if I own the New York Yankees, which would be awesome because I'd be rich as shit. But that's a whole different story. I might even hire Frazier as my BP thrower. But how can you tell him, Frazier, if you're Hal Steinbrenner and you want to spend $10 billion on whatever you want to spend it on, how can Major League Baseball say, hey, Todd, guess what, dude? You can't spend your money on that because the Pittsburgh Pirates can't spend the same amount.
They can.
They can. These guys, they can, dude. That's the problem.
I know.
They're small market. They all have money, dude. I always get in this argument. But we're a small market team. No, you made it that way. You have the money to spend. You just don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a travesty.
Oh.
It just came out. So we'll get into that. We'll bring on a guest on that topic because they're basically you're creating another category to put a salary cap on.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah. Why?
Because
it's not fair. Helicopter parenting. It's not fair. Lawnmower mom.
Or what I would do to hear the owners that call the league to complain.
Where did that come from? I love it.